Hey folks, this is Red Rel, and today kind of doing maybe not something terribly different because I wanted to do things like this for a while. We're gonna just take a look at, because I don't know if I want to call it a review or an unboxing or whatever, but we're just gonna take a look at a some of the action figures I pick up, and kind of do a first impressions. And this is one I picked up literally this morning. It arrived in the mail, and so did a few others, but this is the one we're talking about now. It's the Batman. I believe it's from the White Knight graphic novel that came out a couple years ago. Um, and I picked it up recently. Now, mind you, these are very hard to get. The DC Multiverse McFarlane ones. As I unbox this, I'll kind of explain a little bit, or as I get to the unboxing. Oh, we still got some pieces to cut here. I didn't notice that before. Where's my cutter? A knife. We'll use something a little bit different than we'll use a pair of tweezers. And as I was saying, part of a lot of this stuff doesn't get officially distributed in South Korea, where I'm located, so it's very hard to find this stuff. Usually it comes out like months after, and maybe one or two stores ever sell it. So, like independent retailers, and so often it's few and far between. But anyway, before we just take a look at the packaging. We've got DC Multiverse, McFarlane Toys on the back here, and yeah, from White Knight from the series. Yeah, Batman the White Knight, or just Batman White Knight, right? I quite like that back there, and that depiction of Batman. Actually, I do like these kind of more classic. This one kind of reminded me, as we get this stuff out, there's stuff back here, including, oh, there we go. We take the cardboard out. Comes with a stand and a trading card. Now, these are terrible to get off. I don't know what their thought process is in putting them directly into the card back there. But there we go. DC. Quite nice. Terrible packaging, and I will move that card later. Now onto the figure. Now this is actually my first DC figure that I picked up, because I like DC a little bit more than Marvel, but I personally am kind of maybe not as huge into comic books as I am into, movies or things like that. But this version of Batman's quite nice, and it reminds me of the animated Batman, the animated version from the 1990s, with that more gray suit and more yellowish gold belt. In order to make this easy, we're gonna clip off these pieces here, and I believe we got a couple more twist ties on some the packaging here. Try to make sure I don't cut that inadvertently. Actually, I'll turn it around on the back here, maybe do it this way. They use, interesting that they do it this way. They put the cape, I've seen that on a lot more modern figures. They put the cape through like a empty piece of plastic, rather than something like just fully on the back. They try to have this kind of soft plastic back. I noticed it with they do it, yeah, with quite a lot of caped characters. Now, if we're gonna take it out piece by piece here. I'm kind of super cautious. I don't want to break anything, because it's not super durable, so junk pieces all over here. Let's force him out of the... Come on, babe. Come on. I'm sure this sounds great and fantastic, but we're going to pop him out here. Come on. There we go. That was not as good as expected, but let's get the accessories out as well. I could cut this, but I'm too lazy, so there we go. I'm lazy and I'm a terrible editor, so we're not cutting that. Here he is. Now he is, I believe, standing, so I can keep him in frame, standing about 7 inches tall. If we look at size measurements. But he's actually very heavy. I didn't expect kind of that size. Didn't expect him to be so heavy. He's quite, yeah, he stands up quite tall. Very, very broad shoulders, which is kind of typical of more 90s Batmans. You see a lot more modern Batmans have kind of a slimmer figure, not be so bulky. Because usually they're based on like a movie or a, usually a movie. Or they're based on like thinner actors, you know, whereas usually comic books or the animated series had more muscular, more kind of bigger shoulders in order to kind of display a more intimidating presence. Now, the articulation. Okay, there's these little ridges here that kind of click and make articulation a little bit harder actually to do. So you can see these little ridges here. Little piece of plastic here as well. So I'm kind of surprised for the price you pay. You would hope they would get decent quality with quality control with that, but you can see that kind of. Now I don't know if this is typical with McFarlane or not. You have a soft cape with these very nice. I thought they were more adaptive joints here, but they seem to just be just up and down, I guess, which I thought there would be more with it. If I'm looking here, we take a close look at the articulation here. We can see a joint in there, but oh, there we go. It took a little bit of effort to push it up. Oh, and there is a butterfly joint in there as well, as we can see. Right here, there's a butterfly joint. But it's very stiff. Assume that one's the same way. Very, very stiff points of articulation. The face, because of the little collar there, makes things very difficult to move around. Basically intimidating up, intimidating down. That's it. Now for the legs and the feet, we have the toe up and down, of course, and we have kind of a side-to-side bulge, but that's very stiff. I feel like I'm going to break it by doing that. Like, it moves, but it's requiring some effort and makes me think I'm going to like break it, or yeah, I think I'm going to like pop it out of its socket or something, which is not what I want to be doing. You know, some people like doing that, but it's like it's kind of stuck in that position. You need to kind of like crack it. For the legs, we've got 2 points. Articulation. It's quite nice. These feel a lot nicer. These are a lot nicer to move. There is the one at the knee here, but that seems a lot rougher, I guess, to deal with. But I like the design, and that's why I originally purchased it, is because I enjoyed the design so much for it. Now, I like the cape. The cape seems to stand out of the way, although I feel like with these pieces, it's very easy to kind of accidentally rip them off because they are pretty loose, and they would, if you're not careful, again, for, you know, with McFarlane stuff, it's mostly for display anyway, but you know, if you have kids or something like that, that's like these, just, yeah. As for the accessories, we get 3 pieces. We get the back grapple tied up. It's quite nice, quite good detail. There's not much detail though. Although with the hoops, I'm not really sure what they wanted to do with that. But then we've got the other grab. We got it in use, so it can go in Batman's hands, I guess, like that. Although I don't know how he plans on holding it. I'm not really sure, because it doesn't come with alternative, like, he just comes with a closed fist, so there's no way for him to hold it unless he wants to use it in his little gun thing, but that doesn't have a space for it either. Well, it doesn't have a space for it either, so I'm not really sure exactly how this is supposed to be used. The other one I can see, like, putting it on his utility belt. This one, I can see that going very easily over here. Or, again, that's very soft, so be a little careful. But going like that makes sense. But exactly how you deal with using this, because you don't want, like, that doesn't make sense. And that seems like it would be, I don't know, maybe. But again, it's like you have to kind of mold that to one way or another or something. It'd have to be something you'd use in a diorama with Batman rather than just a regular display piece. Now, on the stand, now this is a hard one to look at because of the camera angle, but he sits pretty decently on the stand. Although I am on an uneven surface, so, but the stand fits quite well into his foot. Overall, I really like the piece, although it is quite larger than I thought. It feels like it's just completely in a different scale than something like Marvel Legends or whatever, or even like Hasbro series. But I guess McFarlane tends to want to operate at a slightly different scale, a slightly larger scale. They're not purely 1/12 scale, which tends to be the standard 6-inch. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty. It's a great display piece, and I really enjoy it so far. So that was my thoughts on it, and thank you for watching. I will do a lot more of these if there's interest in them, or even if there isn't, I'm probably still going to do them anyway. But yeah, thank you for watching, and have a great day.